I think one of the hardest parts about being human is not knowing when or if the things that you want are ever going to happen. When am I going to meet my soulmate? Why haven't I found my purpose? When is my career finally going to take off? Will I ever feel healthy again? And then you look around and your friend just got engaged. Someone else landed their dream job. Another person is announcing their pregnancy. Someone's moving to the city that you've always dreamed of living in. And it feels like everyone is moving forward, but you're standing still. It's the nature of being a human that we want what we want and we want it now, but we all know that life doesn't work that way. So if you feel like you're in your season of waiting, this video is for you. We're going to talk about how to finally trust the timing of your life. And let's make this cozy, shall we? Grab a tea and sit with me. Hey friend, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz and I help women step into their power, tap into their divine feminine, and become their best self, live their best life. So if that's something you want to do, you should subscribe and stick around. And in case you want more from me, you can always check out my courses or my digital products or my free newsletter. It's called the Dream Life Digest. The links for all that are down below. So let me ask you a question, okay? If you were to know with absolute certainty that everything was gonna work out, how much more fun would you have? How much more would you enjoy the process of getting there? I want you to sit with that for a second. If I told you that your soulmate was gonna come into your life in 18 months exactly, like I promise, it's done, mark your calendar. Could you handle that wait? Of course you could. You'd probably even enjoy it a little bit. You'd stop panicking. You'd get excited. You might even use that time to become the best version of yourself before they showed up. Or if I told you your career is just gonna click, not right now, not right now, but in 4 years, everything is gonna come together all at once. Woo, get ready. You'd probably be like, okay, I can do that. I can do that. I can keep going. I can wait. And that's what I want you to realize. It's not actually the timing that we're usually so worried about, but really deep down, the fear is, well, what if this doesn't ever happen for me at all? And I think this is an incredibly important distinction. People aren't usually that afraid of things taking a little bit longer than expected. They're afraid this is the way their life is going to be forever. And they use the fact that it hasn't happened yet as evidence that it might not ever happen. I haven't met my person yet, so maybe I'll be alone forever. My business hasn't taken off. Maybe I'm just not meant for it. My health still hasn't improved. Well, maybe this is just my life now. We think that it should have happened by now, especially when we see other people having it. But something that I want you to realize is like, according to what timeline? According to who? When we feel behind in life, that means that we have some other schedule in our head, right? Or else we wouldn't feel behind. And when we were all growing up, you know, we all went to school and we all followed a syllabus. We all were in the same grade at the same time. We all took the same tests. We graduated at the same time. Everyone learned the same subjects. We were all kind of on the same timeline for the most part. You always knew exactly where you stood and what was coming next. And then we entered adulthood and all of a sudden, there are no rules. It's one of the best things about growing up and being an adult, and also low-key, one of the scariest. School trained us to believe that life has a syllabus, but once you actually enter real life, there is no syllabus. There are no more timelines. We spend our 20s and our 30s grading ourselves against a schedule and a syllabus that doesn't even exist, right? Married by 27, career takes off at age 30, first kid at age 32. And so because we have these imaginary timelines in our head, when we don't get something that we want by the time that we think that we're supposed to have it, then all of a sudden that fear comes in. Oh my God, what if it doesn't ever happen for me? It's not just, this is taking a little bit longer than expected. That's all right. It's, did I miss my chance? Am I behind? Is this ever going to happen? And then we see other people have what we want, and then, we spiral even more. I feel like it pulls you back to this feeling when you're younger where it's everyone else in the class is doing better than you, and you're the one falling behind. Even if that syllabus still did exist, which it doesn't, but let's just say it did. When we compare ourselves to other people, we're never actually looking at the full picture. Naturally, we're usually looking at our emptiest category and comparing it to one of their fullest categories, right? Her career is so much farther than mine. Okay, maybe it is, but maybe you've also had 2 beautiful children and a full family life. Or maybe you healed something that she hasn't even had the courage to look at. Or maybe you found a sense of peace in your everyday life that she won't discover until she's in her 50s. And so that's the thing. Once you enter adulthood, you can't compare timelines in the same way anymore. It's impossible. Now, before we keep going, I do want to thank BetterHelp for kindly sponsoring today's video. There have definitely been seasons of my life where I I felt like everyone else was ahead of me, or like I was somehow behind in life. And carrying around that kind of self-judgment can honestly get a little heavy. That's why having the right support matters, whether you're navigating a season that feels uncertain, or struggling with comparison, or just trying to make peace with where you're at right now. Having someone in your corner can make a huge difference. Therapy gives you a space to process what's coming up with someone who's actually equipped to hold it, so you're not carrying it all by yourself. And sometimes just having an outside perspective can help you get out of your own head and see things in a new light. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that makes it easy and convenient to get matched with a licensed therapist. No waiting rooms, no commuting, just professional support from home on your own schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a therapist within a couple days, and if for some reason that first match isn't the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time, no extra costs. If therapy feels like the right next step for you, just click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/Jillz to get 10% off your first month. I think when we hear, we need to trust the timing of your life, I think sometimes that can make a lot of people, especially a lot of ambitious people, shirk a little bit and make them a little uncomfortable, right? Because it feels very passive in a way. And you know how our culture works. We're always kind of swinging between one side of the pendulum and the other. And one side is like hustle culture, grind, whatever you want, you need to force it. You are the one in control. Like, you have to get what you want. And then there's the other side, which is like, I fully surrender. Whatever the universe wants, completely let go. But I think there's a good little middle ground right here. I want you to think about like a farmer and their crops, okay? They put the seeds in the dirt, and then, they do all the fertilizer and stuff or whatever, and then they water their crops. They take care of the inputs that they are in control of, but besides that, they have to sit back and surrender to the process. They can't really do anything or yell at those plants to, speed up and grow faster. They don't dig up the seed to check and make sure that it's growing. They can't control things like the weather. And trusting the timing of your life is not just full surrender to everything. It's more of an understanding and a reassignment of control. What inputs are yours and what you have control over and what you can do, and what inputs are the universe's, God's, like the weather, right? You are the farmer, you are not the weather, and you never had the weather's job. So in life, you are in charge of your overall direction, the inputs you put into your life, the effort you put in, who you're becoming, what you say yes to, how you're showing up, the thoughts you think, the people you make an effort to connect with. But you are not in charge of, and will never be able to be in charge of, the exact arrival dates, the how, through whom and which things happen, the when. There's a saying like, you are not here to play God. And I think that that's a very beautiful sort of demotion of your responsibility. That's why you have to understand, like, what is your task versus what is not your task. That farmer trying to dig up the seed and check the status of that plant and see if it's about to sprout soon, like that is not their task. That's why they don't do it. And when they do that, it ruins it. And I think there's so many modern ways that we dig up the seed. Like when we text that guy who we've only been on 2 dates with, we text him, what are we? All the time. And we're always trying to check what he's doing and check what he's thinking. Being so demanding of the relationship before it even has, the roots to turn into anything. And then that pressure often kills the relationship and kills the spark. Checking your social media analytics every hour doesn't grow your platform. It just makes you anxious and demoralizes you into posting less and stressing more, and it kills the channel. Weighing yourself 3 times a day doesn't just magically speed up your weight loss journey, and in fact, it just makes you sick of it and annoyed, and often makes you quit the habits that were actually working for you. When we don't focus on only what is my task and what are my inputs here, and we try to play God, we dig up that seed. And when we dig up the seed, we accidentally kill the very thing that we want. Now, I want you to be honest. If that thing that you want so badly was given to you on a silver platter, right here, right now, in this moment, would you be ready for it? Sometimes the answer is yes, and that's great. But oftentimes the answer is no, right? If I handed you your soulmate on a silver platter right here, right now, here you go. Is there actual room in your life for this person? Is there room in your heart? Is there room in your schedule, in your apartment? Are you still texting your ex? Are you still emotionally texting your ex? Would he meet the real you or the depleted you, the dysregulated you? If the love of your life showed up at your door tonight, would you want him to meet you? Or if your social media just blew up tonight and you hit 10 million followers on Instagram. Would you be able to handle all that visibility at once, all that judgment? Would you have the skills to turn that following into something real, like an actual business that makes money? If your dream role magically opened up right now, is your portfolio ready? Are you prepared for that kind of job? Do you have the skills yet, or do you just have the desire? If your health magically improves and you wake up tomorrow with everything working perfectly, do you have the daily habits and the mindsets and the lifestyle that'll keep you healthy, or will you just end up right back at the same spot in 6 months? It's like, sure, would I want a business that makes $10 million a year? Yeah, for sure. But do I actually have the skills and the nervous system regulation and everything required to be able to handle that? I don't. And I'm not saying that you have to earn everything that comes into your life, because that is not true. The universe is not withholding things until you're perfect. The universe is not withholding your soulmate until you're absolutely perfect and everything is healed. But do you really have the capacity for that thing? And sometimes you can see this in a lot of cases where people get things too early, or they reach like a certain level of success too early, and it actually hurts them in the long term, right? Think about like child stars. They got really famous and all this success when they're really young, and a lot of them are not successful when they're older. They burn out, or they have mental health struggles or some other sort of issues. Or think about like the most perfect man that shows up at your door, but right now in this stage of your life, you don't know how to regulate any of your emotions and you accidentally push him away. So I think trusting the timing of your life is not just surrendering and relaxing and trusting the universe. It's also a season of preparation, a season of building your skills. And I want you to think about this in regards to like the law of attraction and manifestation, right? What a lot of people get wrong about manifestation is that we think that if we just want something and we focus on it, it'll just magically come into our life. But that's not what manifestation is. Manifestation is not, how do I get this into my life? Manifestation is, who do I need to become to allow this into my life? Ask like, if my dream blank, whatever it is that you want, if my dream blank landed tomorrow, landed in my lap, what part of me would panic? What would I regret not having done before it arrives? What's one skill that future me needs that I could start building? I think the biggest problem though is when we start treating life like a waiting room. I really want you to hear me when I say this. You are allowed to be happy before everything works out. And I think it's so important to live your life to the fullest, even when you don't have that thing that you want yet. When you get mentally stuck in this waiting room, like life gets so boring and life gets so dull. It's not fun, and it honestly kind of like ruins your energy. Living in the waiting room looks like not decorating your apartment because it's temporary, because you really want to buy a house, even though you lived there for 3 years. It's not taking that trip yet because you haven't found the perfect partner or the perfect best friend to take it with. It's not making real friends in the city and trying to build a real community because there's a chance that you might leave. You can absolutely prepare for that thing that you want, and at the same time, still live your life to the fullest in the meantime. Like, I want you to understand that the two do not really cancel each other out, and they can coexist. It's like, sure, you might be single and really hoping and praying for like marriage and a family soon, but that doesn't mean that you can't still love your single girl era and like enjoy hanging out with your friends and going on all these fun travels. And the irony of this is, the more that you are happily living your life and just like enjoying yourself, the more easily the things that you want just come into your life. The more things tend to work out, and the more things just fall into your lap. And when you're not looking for it and you're not desperate for it, that's often when the moment those desires come into your life. Remember what I asked you, if you knew that everything was gonna work out, how much more fun would you have? What I want you to realize is that you can live that way now. And I always say, just live like it's scheduled. Like, you don't know the exact date. You don't know the scheduled date, but just live like it's scheduled. I know it's really easy in that waiting time to get caught up in worry or stress or panic about whether that thing is gonna happen for you or not. But I know you probably, don't need to hear this, but worry doesn't actually do anything. Like, in case you needed that reminder, worry doesn't bring things into your life faster. It just makes it so you can't enjoy the process towards getting there. And hindsight is 20/20, right? Hindsight is your evidence. Life often feels so random going forward, but looking back, it always makes like so much sense. Think about all the past experiences in your life and the things that didn't quite arrive in the exact timing that you wanted. Maybe something came a little bit later. Was it actually a bad thing that it came later? Or looking back, can you now reflect on that and be like, oh, this actually makes sense. I needed that. If you'd become successful earlier, would you have handled it as well? If you'd met your partner 5 years earlier, would have been a good thing, you think? Or maybe not. When I reflect on this for myself, I spent many years in my 20s really just focusing on myself and healing myself and reading so many books, learning so much. And at the time, it kind of felt like I was doing nothing and I was like waiting for my life to start. But looking back, that couple of years, that period of time, all that learning that I did, it became my competitive advantage for later on. Like I needed that to be successful. So whenever you're struggling with trusting the timing of your life, think about the receipts, like pull out the receipts for your life. Like where has the timing been slower or just different timing than you expected and it actually worked out in your favor? That actually, now that you reflect on it, you're like, oh yeah, it was good that this happened then. Or experiences that maybe felt really hard in the moment, but actually led to so many better things later on. Like maybe that breakup that completely gutted you, but turned out to be the door for everything better in your life. Or the job that you didn't get, or the city that you moved to as a plan B. Looking back, we can kind of see that so much of this stuff just makes sense. And we can use these as receipts when it feels all messy and blurred and confusing going forward. And there have probably been a few moments in your life where you thought, ugh, is this gonna be my life forever? And I want you to think, has that really been true for you? Like I can think about this for myself. One, when I was struggling with my health issues, that was a really hard time for me. And I remember thinking, am I gonna be like this forever? Those past receipts and those past experiences, the evidence that you need to trust going forward. Or maybe if you're listening to this, you're really, really young. Maybe you don't have a lot of that life experience to prove to yourself that things always work out in the end and work out the way that they should. So for anyone who's listening who does have a little bit more life experience, share in the comments where something that you really wanted to happen, it ended up working out on different timing or working out in a different way, and share the experience. Share, was it better for you? Is there actually a good reason why it happened later? I think a comment section full of proof kind of provides a little bit of reassurance. And it's just like that reminder that you get to enjoy yourself while you're in that waiting period. Your life is worthy of being fully lived even when all of your prayers haven't been answered yet. So again, I want to ask you, if you knew it was all gonna work out, how much more fun would you have? What would you do in the meantime? How would you act? How would you show up? How much more excitement would you have for your life? How would you be preparing for that future? How would you be living it up today before things change? I urge you to go live like that right now. This week, you were put on this earth and you were put inside your body to experience every season of your life. And there's gonna be a season of your life 10 years in the future, 20 years in the future, where you're nostalgic for the season of life you're in right now. And I think that's really beautiful to realize. So take care of the parts that are your inputs, the things that you are in charge of, the things that you are in control of, how you show up, how you think, how you behave, who you interact with. Build the skills necessary for the future and let go of the rest and have fun in the meantime, because you deserve it. You are allowed to be happy before everything works out. Cheers to that. I hope you got value from this video, and please share in the comments moments from your life where the timing didn't happen according to plan, but it was better than you could have imagined. And I'm hoping it'll be a nice little comment section for us all. But if you like this video, you might also enjoy watching this video. So I will see you over here, or I'll just see you next time in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.